It's the end of English. My name is Jaden Snyder. This will be my final project reflection and my infographic discussion. Today, we'll start out with talking about my reflection. We did 4 projects to choose from. Well, not to choose from, but chosen by me that were my favorite. When choosing these, I chose a lot from the beginning, which actually helped me a lot throughout the whole course, which I'm glad that you started us out with. I really enjoyed, for the first project, I enjoyed just the grammar presentation. It actually really reminded me that simple little things that I just kind of skip over are really crucial to just learning every day, and I just it made me sit back and think that, maybe this might help, and if I want to do that project differently, I would have actually sat there and thought it through instead of just kind of rushing through it thinking I knew everything, which was great. For my second project, I chose the romantic poetry session. I really liked that one just because of the fact that I got to write my own poetry, and I got to sit there and actually use influences instead of just basing it on one person or being scripted to do a certain format from poetry, which we did have a little bit of a format, but it really made me start thinking about how Macbeth's going to be formatted, even though we hadn't started Macbeth yet, and that I really need to include that when I'm reading through everything, even in Crime and Punishment at the end. He's confessing his love kind of thing in little ways, and reading over that romantic poetry really helped. For another project, we had a choice to do the main choice or a CSI investigation. I chose to learn about CSI investigations because I thought it would be way more interesting, and so I really enjoyed that project because I got to learn the whole process of investigations, and I got to learn the history behind them and how they developed and how they gathered evidence and what they used first, before, and all. So that was about my favorite project. For my infographic, I listed all the main subjects that we studied first and then what the concepts were with that. So for our first subject we covered was literature, which written works, especially by those considered superior or lasting artistic merit, is the definition, which, looking into that, it really helped about kind of recognizing the Crime and Punishment level and respecting that. So that was great. Then we moved on to grammar for just one little session, which is where I got to work on my grammar project. Then we did the history of English, which I thought was really interesting, learning about where it all originated from, and that all of that gave me a better understanding of why that's all important. And then we moved on to the big chunk of our English class, which is Crime and Punishment. We did criminal analysis, and it kind of helped us actually analyze writing completely instead of just kind of scanning over it, because there was a lot of, hidden kind of, you need to pay attention to what he's doing, what he's thinking in that novel. So then we moved on to romantic poetry, and then we moved on to Macbeth, which actually checked in to be moral constraints. That was our concept during that.